Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood. Take a ride to Miami Beach or Hollywood. But I'm taking the Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a Mount Shasta state of mind. Shasta state of mind. It was so easy living day to day, out of touch with the rhythm and the blues. Now I need a little give and take. Could be Panther Meadows or Lake Siskiyou. Seen all the movie stars and the fancy cars and the limousines. High on the Rockies, under the evergreens. I know what I'm needing, leave it all behind. I'm in a Shasta state of mind. Sing it with me. Shasta state of mind. I'm in a Mount Shasta state of mind.
Oh yeah! Hey! Welcome everybody! This is Arthur with Aday in Telos. And I think winter is here. I hear the snowflakes are going to come down to 4,000 feet pretty soon. And this is only November 3rd? Wow, Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is one of my best days. Hey, today we have Sue Fritz.
Fink.
All right. And she's going to talk about astrology. And what she's going to do is I had a vision or a word of knowledge about the last month, and it said I had 18 months to prepare, and that brings us around March, April, May in that general area. So I asked Sue to check this out. So what did we find out, Sue?
Well, we found out that you have a very incredible chart.
Oh, incredible.
Incredible. It's a splash chart known to astrologies.
Blessed?
No. Splash. A splash.
A splash?
Yeah, you have planets scattered.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like a splash of planets. And you have a grand cross.
A grand cross?
Right, which hits on the angular aspects of your chart, which makes a very dynamic levels of experience.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that you probably started out very narrow-minded.
Narrow-minded.
when you were young.
When I was young, okay.
Yeah, and you moved through your experiences with a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
And you became more and more open.
Right.
And that opening came, is what drew you to Mount Shasta.
Ooh, the opening.
Right.
Okay.
Where you set aside core belief systems to leave yourself open to the divine forces that the universe has, which is something that you predetermined before you came into this world.
Okay.
And
the divine part of me, yeah?
Right, Everybody has what I call a God spark within them.
Right.
And essentially the God spark is in every individual, but it can be denied. And in our culture, there's a lot of denial.
Very closed people.
Very closed. and the childhood rearing practices basically promote that. Denial of the emotions, denial of the white elephant that sits in the middle of the living room type situation. And I sense that your own early home life had that white elephant.
You're very right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family was very narrow-minded.
Yeah, very narrow-minded.
Like old boys, old gals, country type people.
Right.
Don't introduce anything strange and unusual.
In other words, what you see is what you get.
And it was very limited.
Yeah. Whereas the God spark in every single individual is there if there is that energy that moves one through their experiences to accept it and to recognize the potential that is basically unbelievable.
We got to believe it, right? Not a lot of people do
Not
that.
necessarily. The God spark is there.
Yeah.
The divine principle is there. The belief system is an energy of love.
Okay.
And that is all-encompassing. It's the energy that creates a tree out of a little tiny seed.
Okay.
It's the energy that is in this table here, in the fruit.
In the round table.
Right, in the round table. And that energy has the ability, when you tune into it, to raise your consciousness to that Christ consciousness position.
Okay.
That Christ consciousness position allows you to turn water into wine, teleport from one part of the world to another in the physical body.
Now, is that bilocate?
No.
No?
Sometimes bilocating is astral projection.
Okay.
So there's a difference between teleporting and bilocating, because the consciousness itself can bilocate and leave the body behind.
Okay, okay.
And
but this means you're talking about the whole body.
I'm talking about the whole body.
So is that an ascension matter? Or?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
But it is the goal of humanity. And that's the point that we're moving into.
Yep.
So I did your chart up, and like I said, your chart has a grand cross in it, indicating, and it's all angular, which gives it a lot of potential and power. Okay. And I took the transit for March 15th of 2012 to see where you would be. And there's a project that you're working on now, and from what I understand, probably the last 6 years, but even more so now than before, because of this focus on 2012, where you can put clips together and create a documentary and maybe do a follow-up in 2012 on those that, to find out what's happened with the people, because right now we're headed into what a lot of people are calling a real ride. The economy is failing, the government is not effective, our assets have been sent overseas. The domino effect is going to be terrific on this nation because of their attachment to greed and power and their sense of denial, because there's been so many different misinformation given to them, and so little valid information of what is reality and how one can progress from one state of consciousness into another. And it can be done in a twinkling of an eye, and it doesn't require a really strong belief system in so far as...
is it more like letting go of the old and allowing the truth to come through? The illusions, letting go of the illusions?
The illusions are essentially that, because every thought that we have is matter, and it goes out into the universe. The subconscious doesn't recognize the difference between what's out there and what's within.
Exactly.
When we dislike someone and we verbalize that, all we're telling our subconscious is that we don't like who we are.
Ah, the reflection.
Yeah, there is no differentiation in the subconscious. And this information has not been available to people. So consequently, anger, wars, religious misconceptions
There's a lot of those.
They have been like a cancer to our society. Every 26,000 years, the Earth moves into what's called the photon belt.
Exactly.
And this is considered where the greater sun is.
The what?
The greater sun,
Okay.
S-U-N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And every 26,000 years, the Earth has been given the energy to ascend and consequently be like Christ-like in
Okay.
consciousness.
Okay.
The Earth hasn't been successful in the last several times.
Right, right. And
And
I
we're
understand it wants to ascend at this coming up.
Right, There's a energy out there that says if you don't, the solar system is, the whole universe is going to be affected if you don't. Now,
You're right about that.
when we talk about time, however, we have linear time, but linear time is only for our own convenience.
Right.
And
it's a straight line.
it's a straight line, whereas time actually has a consciousness to it that revolves around itself. In other words, within every moment you can move into any part of your history, or the history of the Earth, or
Right.
wherever.
Exactly.
It requires that consciousness, though, that leaves attachment to linear time.
So is it better to kind of focus on the nature, the moon, the sun, the stars, Earth?
All of these have an impact. You can look at people who have been very successful in putting out proper information, and you can look at a chart and see where they're vibrating at.
Okay, where am I vibrating?
You're vibrating at a very high rate at this point in time.
Is it
It
gonna?
hasn't always been.
Right, right. So is it going to stay that way, raise up?
It will stay that way because of your Aquarian nature of wanting to know what real freedom is.
Ah, freedom.
Yeah, and
Freedom of thought.
is it freedom of thought or is it freedom of action?
Ooh,
Because-
freedom of action.
Right. I got a feeling that you spent a lot of time actually trying to understand what real freedom is. And you have yet to experience it on its highest level because it is incredible.
Oh boy, something to look forward to.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
boy.
So you can look for the next 18 months of gathering information that shows how much freedom is potentially there for you.
Okay.
And then when you go out to dinner and take 30 people with you, you can hold out your hand and the money will appear.
Woo!
So-
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. That's
Bring it
because,
on in.
that's because the Lord is within you. The Christ consciousness has that potential to be within you.
Right, right, right.
The books, there's several books out that actually show the potential of every single human being.
Okay.
One of them is the Anastasia ringing cedar tree,
Okay. Yeah.
and the other one is the life teaching of the Masters of the Far East,
Okay.
written back in 1936.
Wow.
And
Now, are these books something I should be reading? Or get some ideas?
if for no other reason, to read them would give you an idea of what your potential actually is.
Oh, okay.
And this is information that is not readily available.
Right, right.
It's moving out of that position of what you see is what you get. And understanding that
And what you think was what you get too.
Yeah, what you think, because thoughts are very powerful. There's been predictions of earthquakes in California by Edgar Casey and a couple other psychics. But 3 people meditating on the fault can alter all of that.
Oh.
So, consequently, one person that raises his vibration high enough can have a domino effect that would affect 20,000 people
20,000 people, yeah.
around them. And that domino effect is really very powerful. Just like one negative person can have the same domino effect
Domino,
in
yes.
Actually less people
To
than...
make you a bad day.
Right,
Yes. Yeah.
So what happens in 2012 is going to be very dependent on the information that is given to people
Okay.
about who they are.
Who they are. And
Yeah.
how, okay.
But it's an individual's responsibility to act on that information.
All right.
Nobody can put a crown on anybody's head except themselves.
Okay.
And
So it's an individual step
right.
that humanity should take.
Right. And there are small groups here and there, but they're not united.
Okay.
So often when those groups come together, there's a divergence, a separation in their thinking. The whole concept of unity is unity within diversity.
Unity in, okay. Yeah.
And here
Diversity.
on Earth is the only place where you have that diversity that is so really thrilling. You have a diversity of plant life, you have a diversity of animals and insects, diversity in people. Right.
Birds.
Yeah. We are, the Earth is the melting pot of the universe. And
And I always look. When I look at the different planets, and I think how unique we are. Set right here, the sun isn't too hot, and it's not too far away.
yeah, right. The divine principle is at work there. Yeah. And of course, with the destruction of our rainforest, the chemtrails, the attitude of greed and possessiveness,
Right.
and the breakdown in the family structures.
So basically, everything right now is decaying.
Decaying, right. It's been decaying for quite a while.
Right.
And you're talking more than 26,000 years.
Right.
So,
Now I have a question on this. Now, every 26,000 years, do we go into another sign? Like we're in the age of a Pisces age. Are we going into the age of Aquarius at this next 26,000?
right, but on the other hand, I see it more as energies coming from various directions, from the 12 directions.
Okay.
That the signs have been given names back in, well, long before the year 2000.
Right.
So the concept of the signs is fairly ancient. And the new astrology basically identifies the 12 energies that are coming in.
Right, okay.
So whether it's the age of Aquarius or the age of Pisces,
which way we're going?
it's a direction.
Yeah, direction.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because...
so March, April, May, did you see any specific things happening?
I see you as being extremely busy, and that this project that you're going to be putting together with a great deal of enthusiasm and all the resources, you do need to have people helping you with this. But it's right up there in your 10th house.
And the project you said would be like a documentary?
That's a potential.
Okay.
Yeah. I leave the actuality of it up to you.
Okay.
And to those forces or divine principle that's going to move you into the direction in which that information is needed to be heard.
So should I focus on the divine principle?
The divine principle. Can you remember?
Should I focus? Yeah.
Do you remember what the divine principle is?
At the moment, not.
Okay.
Yeah.
The divine principle is unconditional love.
Okay.
And that's the power that moves the universe, that keeps the table together in form.
Okay.
And
I better remember all this then.
yeah, and we could levitate that table. We could teleport ourselves. We can change water into wine. We can do all of these things. No, I'm not there yet, but I have teleported, so I know that that's possible.
Okay.
I have had a lot of different experiences, as your singer has. So
is there anything that's coming up that you'd like to talk about in your future, like classes that you'd like to talk about?
Well, in May, I would be interested in starting some astrology classes.
Okay, in May.
In May.
And how would people get a hold of you?
Through my telephone number.
Okay.
Calling in the morning is a good time. The other thing is I'm a tax preparer. I have been a tax preparer
there you
since
go.
92, and I've got 6 seasons with H&R Block behind me.
Okay.
But and I am.
You're a busy lady.
Yeah. So.
So in May, you'd like to do some astrology, individual or classes?
Classes.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a place that you want to?
It would probably be at my house.
At your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not in the park.
Okay.
At the.
Might be a little cold in that
right.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I could get 12 people that would be really interested in pursuing astrology.
Hey, there's 12 people right there on the table.
Yeah.
The King's round table.
Yeah. Didn't I count 13?
Yeah. Well, hey. Oh, yeah, there is. How
Yeah,
fun.
right.
That was you, huh?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You know, it is great having you here, and I love your ad because that's what caught my attention when I was looking through the different magazines in the Mount Shasta area to see who I would like to have on my show next. And your ad was really just caught my eye. It just said, "Do it."
Very good.
All right.
Well, I really appreciate having been here and
All right.
having you call me.
Thank you very much. Now it looks like we're gonna got to wrap this up, but I want to let you folks know that this is November, and we got three more weeks to go that I'll be doing some more shows. So keep your eyes open for that one. Tuesdays at 7 a.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m. Take it away, Roy.
Yeah. By the way, the last song was a Billy Joel song that I altered a little bit. This song I wrote. Feeling low down, stuck on the ground. Don't feel all alone. Stop chasing your tail. Fight tooth and nail. 'Cause only the tigers survive. You got a yellow stripe, you better think twice. with courage and pretend you're a big old cat. 'Cause life could be a jungle, a filthy, cruel jungle, and love makes it worthwhile. Life's a jungle, dirty, sad jungle, only the tigers survive. Love makes it worthwhile, and love makes it worthwhile. Sing it with me. Love makes it worthwhile. Sing it again. Love makes it worthwhile.
Whoa!
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
And so smile.
Thank you, Mount Shasta.
I wanted to read this here to you.
All right. Come.
Yeah. This really hits on it. Inventive ability, the gift of getting ideas.